Dillian Whyte and Mark Tibbs, long-time trainer, have parted ways. I'll read Dillian Whyte's statement. It reads, "Just to let everyone know, Mark Tibbs and I are no longer working together as a boxer, trainer, and training in Portugal. Mark has a young family and his own gym in the UK. As it stands, it just hasn't worked out in the way we both hoped it would. Mark came into my team 4 years ago and has helped me turn into the world-class fighter I am today. Mark is a great trainer and will always be grateful to him and his dad for all they have done for me." Interesting. So, I think people have already kind of reported on this. I've seen a few people, kind of like mention it and talk about it. And it came to a surprise to a lot of boxing fans, considering Dillian Whyte's got a fight with Alexander Povetkin in about 6 or 7 weeks' time. I think it's August the 22nd. So I've been looking at Dillian's social media. It doesn't seem like he's been... it's been a thing where he's kind of just parted ways with Tibbs recently. Although there was an IFL interview about a week ago with Tibbs, and he didn't give any indication that him and Dillian were splitting. So maybe it was a recent thing that it's happened, because the IFL interview, you wouldn't think that they were splitting at all. Tibbs didn't mention it, and it didn't sound like they weren't working together. They were talking about the Povektin fight, and they were talking about what Dillian needs to improve and what his strengths are, and he's gotten stronger, and his WBC belt and blah, 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 and his interim title and what he's fighting for. So Tibbs didn't give any indication that they were splitting. I know one new coach that was employed into their team, I think it was even in the Marius Wack fight, was Xavier Miller. And he works with the IQ guys in the gym there, a few guys there. I don't know too much about him. I do know he helped coach Derek Chisora in the Carlos Takam fight with Don Charles. He's worked with a few other different fighters. So I know he's been training with Dillian. Dillian's been, with him in Dillian. He's been in Portugal with Dillian and the other guys in camp. Interestingly enough as well, Richard Riakpo and John Harding Jr. have also made statements saying that they're no longer working with Mark. So it's obviously a universal thing in the team. Dillian Whyte says it's only logistics in his statement, but if it was only logistics, Richard Riakpo isn't working in Portugal. Richard Riakpo is not in Portugal. He's not with Dillian. He's in London, for what I know. So why did Richard Riakpo have to move trainers if he's not in Portugal? If it was in logistics. So maybe it's more than logistics. Maybe Dillian feels that Mark has shown him all he can, or Mark's not happy that he might get a substantial pay cut because of the whole behind closed doors. Maybe Dillian doesn't want to pay him the certain wages that he was paying him, and now it's just a good reason to cut it. I don't know. Maybe he's got too many guys in his team and he's not trying to cut his money all those ways. I don't know. But it's an interesting decision to cut. He hasn't really confirmed that Xavier Miller Zab is his new coach, but with only a few weeks to go and him still being in Portugal, I'm pretty sure Zab will be in the corner. Is what I'm most likely confirmed. But after the Povetkin fight, we're not too sure if he'll stay with Zab or he's made an announcement. We'll see. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be an issue for him going into the Povetkin fight? I know Mark Tibbs helped sharpen his boxing skills, got him to be more patient. And Mark Tibbs was good at constructing a plan and a game plan for every different fight for Dillian. He didn't just give Dillian a blueprint and just say, yeah, run with it and use that in every fight. No, they strategically made adjustments during the fights. With Parker, Dillian was getting Dillian was getting outspeeded, outworked in the first 2 rounds against Parker. And, Mark was saying, you got to rough him up. You got to get in him. You got to get inside. You got to rough him up. You got to push him off. You got to double jab, and you got to make sure that you unsettle him. And that's what Dillian Whyte did from the second round onwards. He unsettled Parker and pushed the work. And I think gradually Dillian Whyte has learned to respect Mark Tibbs, not just as a trainer, but as a man. The authority he gives to him, and when he speaks, he listens. We saw that in the Rivas fight. And we saw that Dillian Whyte is coming on heaps and bounds. So will this new trainer, Xavier Miller, be able to put in that same input for Dillian? I know Xavier's philosophy is more the Kronk style and the thingy shell and the counter punching with the right hand. So maybe we might see Dillian have a bit more sharpness on his right hand. But we're going to find out. I know Mark was trying to work on his footwork in his last few fights. So maybe Xavier's going to try and focus on that. But it's just kind of a sad, I think Mark's kind of gone down well with the fans. They like him. Dillian usually takes the mickey out of his accent. But people like it. It's like a fun little banterish thing and everyone likes it. And everyone likes Mark. He's a very likeable character. But this is boxing. This is to be expected. And you don't stay the same person forever. So maybe Dillian will get new eyes, new looks. It would have been nice to see Mark, stay with Dillian at least up until Dillian got his title shot. So then Mark could have said, well, I've been with him since he lost to AJ and I've been with him all the way to his title shot. We worked together, it would have been nice, but maybe they might come back together. You never know in the future. Let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, comment, please.